This is the iPhone 15, and there are 4 major changes this year that makes this phone worth it even if you have the iPhone 14. The iPhone comes in 5 different colors. I gotta be honest, I really love this yellow color, but when pink was announced, everyone started screaming for whatever reason. What color do you guys like the most? The 15 and 15 Plus comes in 6.1 and 6.7 inch display. And this takes us to the biggest change that this phone has. It's that dynamic island. Love it or hate it, the dynamic island is here to stay, and I bought a timeshare on it. It's this little bar that's at the top of your screen, and this bar actually hides your Face ID sensor and your front-facing camera. But it also doubles as a notification panel, and it works with other apps too. So for example, let's say you're doing a voice memo, you can see the status of it right up there. If you're on a phone call, you can see how long you've been on the phone. If you're listening to music, you can control the music from there too. And then obviously my favorite app in the world, Flighty, when you have a flight happening, it tells you how long until you land or how long until you take off. All that stuff is at the top of your screen, and you don't have to go into a different app to see it. This feature is on the 14 Pro already, but now they're bringing it down to the non-Pro versions of the phone. I'm absolutely happy that it's here, and I'm sure anyone that buys the 15 would enjoy that feature as well. And I guess also one more thing, now that we're still on the display, they made it 2 times brighter when you're outside. So going outside, you shouldn't have a problem at all seeing your display. This next feature, you really can't understand it until you put the phone in your hand. This is the contoured edges, and it's something that's really hard to show. But the phone is no longer square, so when you're holding the phone, it doesn't sort of feel sharp in your hand anymore, and it's now sort of curved a little bit so it fits in the palm of your hand. I know it sounds like a lot of PR talk, but once I put the phone in my hand, it felt a whole lot better to hold. It also has a stronger back, so this phone could withstand drops even better. And of course, it still has that same ceramic shield on the front, which is the toughest glass around. May not be the best scratch resistant glass around, but as far as cracks and drops, it is very, very tough. And then USB-C, finally we have USB-C available on the iPhone, and that makes me very excited. Now you're still gonna have the same charging speeds at a roughly 20 watts of charging speeds, but you still have USB-C, so that's one less thing you have to bring when you travel, one less cable. And they're also upgrading the AirPods Pro 2, so now you can actually get a version that has USB-C on the bottom as well, which is really nice. So you can assume that all Apple peripherals coming out going forward are gonna be USB-C, and Lightning will be gone pretty soon. So that's exciting news. So speaking of the back of the phone, looking at the camera system, it looks like it's the same camera from last year, but a lot has changed. This is a pretty big update. We now have a 48 megapixel main sensor, up from 12 last year. And then when you snap a photo, a lot is happening. You end up with a 24 megapixel shot. The rest is used to gather more information for that image and also give you access to that 2x zoom because you have a larger sensor. So now you have that 0.5 ultra wide, standard 1x, and now you have a 2x zoom. So basically you're getting more lenses and more detail in the same camera. There's a whole lot that was said about cameras, and to be honest, I'm more of a person that wants to use it before I really talk about it. So I am going to say that the camera samples looked great, but they always will look great. There is a new feature that I find very useful. So let's say you're taking a picture of someone using the regular lens, you take a photo, and then you go back to edit that photo. You now have the ability to go back and make it a portrait photo. So you don't have to go to portrait mode anymore. You can just snap a regular photo and then go into edit and then add the portrait ability. Now this only works for photos of humans, cats, or dogs, because the iPhone categorizes every picture you take, which I think is pretty cool because not many people are swiping through the camera modes and going to portrait. Now you have those photos that you can turn into portrait after the fact. So those are the major features regarding this phone. You can pre-order this phone starting Friday at $799, and then it ships the following Friday. But I gotta know, what you think about it?